Hello, welcome to the channel. This is the BookTube writing channel that no expense is spent. And today I'm going to talk about The God Is Not Willing by Stephen Erikson. So, I take it if you're seeing this, you've read the Malazan Book of the Fallen, among others. And so you have a bit of understanding of the Warrens and the magic system. And then old Mr. Erikson writes a book that goes, forget about it. There's a whole new system added, a new layer to the thing. But anyway, I digress. More on that later. But yeah, the God Is Not Willing. So this book picks up 10 years after the Crippled God, the book 10 of the series. And I like it. It is great. Technically, what am I saying technically? Like I can judge a great meal like that. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. If you're watching this for the first time, you might be like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, this guy just, I'm just going off the top of my head because I enjoy this series, these books. I enjoy writing, and it's a big inspiration to me, but more on that in a moment. This book is great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've just recently done my second read through in anticipation of the sequel that's coming out in a couple of months' time. No Life Forsaken, I believe it's called. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I thought I'd brush up on this. And the second time around, I picked up a few Easter eggs that I missed, and probably because between the first time I read it now, I read a few of Ian C. Esselmont's books, like Stone Wielder and Return of the Crimson Guard, and a few of the other books that he's written, and that sort of tie into the lore. And when they mention, I'm going to have slight spoilers for this book. I'm not going to spoil the story, but I'll be talking about characters and whatnot. When they mentioned a few of the events from Stone Wielder, I'm like, there you go. Like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. But anyway, let's get back to this book. I don't know where to start because he's done a brilliant job again, and Stephen Erikson has a way of bringing these themes across so well. And when I say like themes like legacy, themes of legacy, themes of like consequences for actions, not just like culturally, environmentally, personally, and like on the personal level, and then the broader sense of empires and whatnot. So it all brings in elements of the original Malazan Book of the Fallen. Now, you don't have to have read that to enjoy this, but obviously a lot of things make more sense. But as a standalone series, like it's really good. So all right, we'll talk a bit of about the characters. So one of the main characters is a Teblaw, if you know what that are, like a half Teblaw, and he is the son of Castle Erlong, one of the main characters in the Malazan Book of the Fallen, a bit of a fan favorite with a lot of people. And his shadow, or his legacy and the consequences of what he's done in the series are pretty much all, I don't know how to explain. I speak one language. Give me a break. But anyway, so the shadow of Castle Erlong is very vast, and it hangs over the town of Silver Lake, which is the region that this is set, and his shadow, like over the people there, not just humans, but also the Teblaw that live in their little mountain range, and what this character I'm about to talk about, his name's Rant, and he is the half human, half Teblaw son of Castle Erlong. So he's yeah, he's the bastard son that's like conceived, like he was conceived in like a violent encounter, like when Castle Along had his rampage through um, the town. Now, I'm not going into too much detail about that, but this he's basically a giant, but he's a child, and yeah, Erikson has a beautiful way of like seeing the world through his eyes and capturing that innocence and how innocence is lost, and that's a big theme in this book. Yeah, the loss of innocence, and there's a few other characters that experience that too. But we'll just talk about Rand for the moment. Like his emotional evolution, he starts like confused and angry. He doesn't know what's going on because he is like a child. But as he's like, and then he starts to see the world as it is through his eyes. And on his journey, he meets another character from the series, Damask, who was not. He played a minor role in the series, and he's one of those characters that Erikson brings back. Like he's like on the periphery. He's in it a bit, but yeah. And he, I digress, but he has a wonderful arc, I guess you could say. Like he's a bit of a story of redemption, or trying to find redemption in a world where that's pretty hard to get, and especially for one that has so much blood on his hands. And how do you redeem yourself from what he's done? Is it just saving one life, like Rand's life, or just trying to get that blood off your hands, one person at a time, one good deed at a time? And as I say, no good deed goes unpunished, and yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But he stands out as through his eyes. He's worn down. He knows he's at the end of his sort of his best years are behind him, and he knows that legacy that he's got is like shackles on him, basically weighed down, like the consequences for his actions. Like he was a hunter and a slaver, and wiping out herds of animals to herd a population of peoples, enslaving Teblor, tracking down runaway slaves in the original series. And so he's a bad person, but yeah, he realizes at the end of his journey, I guess, and he's trying to make amends for that, which is tackled really well in this book. And in tackling that question, how do you redeem yourself from that? But anyway, so yeah, Rand, the half Teblor son, and Damask, they build a relationship together, and Damask helps Rand try and find his place in the world. So they're the main two characters from Silverlake, and then of course there's the Malazan Marines, the famous Marines, and with this series there are they are unique and totally different from the original series. Like all those characters, but all the ones that you know and love. But these ones are brilliantly written, and you fall in love with these characters too. I know I did. Like personal favorite, I think, is Captain Gruff, who comes off as very flamboyant, agreeable, and oddly charming. He addresses his soldiers with like a theatrical flair, but he has this like genuine care for not just his Marines, but like just people in general. He is a commander in a captain in the Marines, so he knows what he's doing. He knows how to take a life, basically. Has a fight, but at the same time, he has this kind soul and the emotional depth. So he cares very deeply about people. You know, there's a lot of scenes in the book where his reaction to certain things, you can see that it just crushes his soul, and it is, well, beautifully written, and it's very inspirational. So he he has a lot of bravado, but underneath it all, he's deeply human and deep, like a caring soul. Even not just for his troops, but for civilians, and even the enemy, or who people have perceived the enemy, even in times of need. He's caring, and you see his emotional range develop, or his emotional arc, through that, trying to guide his Marines and the people of Silverwater through Silver Lake. I keep forgetting because I'm an idiot. But anyway, but never mind that, because I'm probably thinking of the character Stillwater in my brain. So I'm like, ugh. But anyway, that's another character, old Stillwater. She's a fan favorite, I think, or at least I think so. She's deeply flawed, but vivid, hilarious, and she's the first person to come up with an idea of like a mage assassin, and everyone else stole the idea like years and years before. Well, the Claw stole the idea from her, even though they existed well before she ever did, and it's hilarious. But she comes off as, you think she's a bit of a joke, or she pretends, oh no, I'm not a mage, I don't know what you're talking about. But she is deadly, and she knows how to fight. She can take care of herself, and she has no fear, even up going against the biggest characters in the universe, in the Malazan world. She doesn't blink. So it's absurd, but brilliant. So they're just some of the characters. There are a few ones that, like a couple of old ones, throwbacks from the original series. I don't want to get too spoilery with that, but there are some great characters, and the obviously the story's good. So I don't know how else to talk that up, but yeah, the theme is definitely, for me, is consequences, and our actions today, how they affect future generations. It's like dropping a stone in a pond and watching those ripples go on like years and years from now. With modern day climate change or global warming or whatever comes with, whatever you want to call it, I guess that the environment of the ice fields and whatnot from the Jagut. I barely speak English, so come on. So all the ice fields are melting, and how the effect of the Talana Mass wars and Jagut, their wars, how that's left the world behind, or the state that it left the world in, and how over years and years the walls are crumbling, the ice is melting, and that's going to have an effect on on the region and the world. So it's very much, I think, the consequences, and also the loss of innocence, like how that is dealt. And there's a lot of characters that sort of deal with that and see it through their own perspective. And Rant is one of the main ones with that, like how he views the world, and some things aren't fair, as most kids probably think, but it's just that child innocence, and how that is sometimes lost, and we lose a bit of ourselves when we lose that. So yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. I quite enjoy it. I recommend it. And if you've read the series before, like, you're going to enjoy this. I mean, it's not as dense as Erikson's other work. This is only only small. It's not as complex. There's not as many main characters that you're following, so it's a smaller range of point of view, but there are quite a few. So it's probably a bit of a lighter read than what the other ones are, but it's still a brilliant read, and I recommend. I'm really looking forward to the sequel. There's a few characters that were lightly introduced. I'm looking for. I think they'll have a bigger role, but we'll just have to wait and see. So when that book comes out, I'll have a look at that. So anyway, let me know what you think if you've read this book, or if you're a fan of Malazan, Z. Don't worry, I'll take out all the mistakes in post if you've watched this far. But anyway, alright, see you next time.